Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Peter McGuire. Peter, hi, thank you so much for joining us. And what a week this has been, nearly 4% of gains. We are at $94.50 a barrel for Brent, and 90 is back in WTI.
Absolutely, Manisha. I tell you what, it's been showtime and it hasn't stopped, and it's been a very, very rapid move to the upside. You also had that US dollar tick up. So I just think that it's probably, 95. We said take a breather and let's see where it runs at 95. But the momentum to the upside seems to be galloping, Manisha. So I think you've probably got to say it's 100.
Oh, absolutely. And how much would you say is the, speculative buying support of this? Because we've seen in the last 3 weeks, hedge fund buying increase in case of crude. On the other side, it also is about the fourth quarter deficit that the markets really seem to be digesting in now.
Absolutely. Fourth quarter deficit, and retail is all over it as well. They've been really enjoying this rally to the upside. It's just been momentous because it's just been a continuation for the last probably 5 to 6 weeks. And it's been strong, and naturally, the big commercials are on there as far as the hedge funds, and they're having a field day because it's. I think that these sort of opportunities come probably once or twice a year, and it's very, very bullish. So everyone's just steaming in.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at the prices on 23rd of August, we were trading at around 82. We are trading at 94 right now. So 3 weeks, $12 done on the higher side. Is it overbought? I mean, should you be looking at caution at these current levels?
Well, maybe there's a little bit of caution, and possibly you might give up a couple of bucks, but I think the overall momentum, Manisha, is to the upside. So I think it's probably got, maybe the high 90s, then it'll take a breather. But how do you know? I mean, it's just been so rapid, as you mentioned, from, that 23rd of August headline. So, don't stand in the way of a bull market. It'll probably run over you.
Very strong Chinese data, this RRR cut. I mean, would you say that really did that, or would you give a 10 on 10 to OPEC on this one?
Well, I think the data out of China was strong, and that's been also an uplift as far as iron ore, and the metals had a really nice day in Australian equities today. So there's a positive tone, and pretty much it washed across all of Asia. And as far as OPEC are concerned, well, I'd like to be going to that meeting in the end of November to really get a heads up as far as mood and sentiment. And I don't know how much further these sort of cuts, what the impact's going to be. It could be dramatic.
And are you buying metals now, finally? Because we are looking at all the right cues coming in from China.
Well, I think you've probably got to be, mindful of it. The smart money is certainly jumping on energy, but they'll probably take a look at as far as the metals, Manisha, over the next week, if that momentum can continue. But it's a time possibly to be long some of those commodities for maybe a couple of weeks. Let's just see how it rolls for the end of September.
And Peter, as you said, the run-up has happened in energy and base metals, even with the dollar index trading at a 6-month highs, holding above that 105 level. How would you read into that, the kind of relation or correlation that we've made?
Well, imagine if the US dollar was, going the other way. Imagine if it was at 101 or 100, Manisha, you'd probably have crude at probably 105. So there we are at the moment, and it's defying a little bit of logic, but it's just very much game on. It's strong. It's got plenty of, again, that trajectory, upside. So let's see where the US dollar runs. I'm waiting for some data, and we've just got to see mood and sentiment coming out of the Fed next week.
Oh, well, absolutely. But with the ECB saying that with the 25 basis rate hike that we saw yesterday, that the monetary tightening is nearly done with, that also led to some gains happen in case of dollar index. How would you look at the range now forming for the next, let's say, a month or so when it comes to dollar index?
Well, I think it probably, that 104 to 106.50 sort of range, Manisha. I think it'll be probably somewhere between there, and possibly a little bit further upside building into next week's decision. The 25 basis points didn't really impact the dollar too much. It was already baked in probably. So let's see where the mood is next week, 18th. I think it's 19th and 20th for the Fed. So it'll be a blackout, and then we'll just get some ideas. And this time next week, we'll be either at 106 or, 104.50.
All right. And what's your sense on metals? I mean, are you buying anything? Because for this week now, we are 3% up for copper and zinc, 5% up for iron ore. All the other metals also trading in the positive.
Yeah, they've been well up, and there's no doubting that. And I think, smart money's jumping in on it, Manisha, but there was probably easier money to make as far as crude. So, the money will go across and they'll see opportunity, the traders, where there's movement. That's all they want. And there could be a little bit further uplift as far as you mentioned, some of those base metals. So, it'll happen. They're just you just got to see how it all rolls. But yeah, you can't stand into the way of 5% up as you see there on the screen for iron ore. It's strong, and that was greatly impacting Australian equities today and the miners.
And a final word on gold then, and because even with the dollar index at nearly 105, we haven't seen 1900 give away. So with all said and done, gold also seems to be holding its ground.
Absolutely. I mean, I still believe its best days are ahead of it for the rest of the year, Manisha. I think it'll be stronger. I still believe 2200 is achievable. I know I might be running out of time a bit, but I think there's probably all the capacity to push it higher. So yeah, I won't be surprised. I'm just sitting here, and I think it's as everyone knows, silver and gold are where a lot of traders are very much buying, and they're very appreciative of it because they think their best times are ahead of it.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Well, that's on the precious metal space. Thanks, Manisha, as well as Peter, for giving us an update